The ancestors are speaking, and this time the whole world has to listen. In a historic and long overdue declaration, African nations stood before the United Nations and called the transatlantic slave trade what it has always been: the greatest crime against humanity. Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama announced that Africa will submit a formal motion demanding reparative justice, not as a favor, not as charity, but as a debt owed. Let that sink in. The children of those once chained are now demanding a seat at the table, the very table built from their stolen labor. Mahama didn't mince words. Reparatory justice is not about pity, he said. It is about recognition, responsibility, and restitution. And in that moment, the ancestors clapped their hands, because they have waited centuries for this sound. The sound of a people rising, united, unafraid to name the crime and call for the cost. This moment is no coincidence. It is divine timing. The Bible said it plainly: the meek shall inherit the earth. The so-called meek have been watching, working, and waiting, and now they are reclaiming what was promised. When Mahama and other African leaders stood at that podium, they didn't just speak for nations. They spoke for the bones buried in the Atlantic, for the mothers who never saw their children again, for the hands that built empires and never touched the prophet. They spoke for those who carried the lash marks, but still sang freedom songs so powerful that centuries later, their rhythm still beats in our blood. The ancestors are speaking, and the world is finally quiet enough to hear them. The motion calls for reparations, financial restitution, environmental restoration, and the return of stolen cultural artifacts. The same nations that grew fat on African gold, cocoa, sugar, and cotton are now being asked to face the mirror. Ghana alone saw 98% of its wealth stripped and shipped overseas, the land left barren, the people left in poverty. Yet after slavery ended, it was not the enslaved who were compensated, but the slave owners. Western nations paid reparations to themselves for losing their property. The cruelty of that irony burns hotter than ever. So when Mahama says, the descendants of Africa deserve the dignity of acknowledgement, he isn't making a plea, he's serving notice. And to those in the United States who are busy banning books, rewriting textbooks, and pretending that African American history is optional, take heed, because every attempt to erase the truth only strengthens the will of those who will speak it. Every classroom you silence, another artist, writer, and creator picks up the pen. Every law you pass to bury history only waters the roots of resistance. The ancestors are not impressed by censorship. And this global move, this unified African-led call for justice, is their thunderclap. Stay tuned as I take a deeper dive into this story. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss an upload. This is Sensible Sue signing off.